Ensues podcast, hosted by Donna, the queen of quick wit, and Jeff, the dean of devious double entendres. Together, they're on a mission to find the funny in life using nothing but their critical thinking skills and sarcasm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hilarity Ensues. I'm your host, Donna, and joining me here today is my co-host,
Jeff.
Today's show isn't about politics, sports, or Florida trying to out-Florida itself. Today, we're talking about something everyone has, or at least they think they have, friendships.
Friends, how many of us have them?
Okay, with the Houdini reference, I got you here. And Jeff, considering we've been friends for almost 30 years, I figured we're kind of somewhat qualified to talk about that.
Right, I'd say so.
Our friendship has outlasted both of our marriages combined.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, by a long shot. Yeah.
By a long shot. But I wanted to talk about this. I've had several conversations with people about this recently, and it brought me back to years ago after my first book was published. I started writing another book about friendship. I never finished the book. It's still shelved for me to complete. Maybe one day I'll complete it. But there's a passage that I wrote that I constantly revisit when I have these conversations about friends. And what I state is that some friendships are all weather. They ride with you through winter, spring, summer, or fall. They ride with you. And then there's some friendships that just last a season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And these are people that enter your life for a purpose. And when that season's end, it simply ends. And it's usually not because you got in a fight or something happened. It's just that they kind of fall off. And the thing that gets me is the dramatic posts that people do on friendships and relationships that are cryptid, where they're clearly talking to someone that hurt them or injured them. And the rest of us have to suffer and read through that. But anyway, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it just, something happens. Maybe you move, maybe you get a new job, maybe you graduate from school or something like that. And those friendships just end. And I think the biggest mistake people make is trying to breathe life back into something that's already over.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's like 6 months have passed and you're like, I'm always the one calling. They moved and they didn't tell me. I saw on Instagram they had a birthday party and they didn't invite me. It's over. Let it go.
Oh, yeah. Once you see the birthday party on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, and you were not invited, that means that friendship is over. They do not consider you a friend.
Yeah. Dead plants don't need watering. And when I say watering, I mean your energy. Don't give that your energy. Now, let me ask you this, Jeff. How many people do you honestly consider friends? You don't have to call out by names. I don't want anyone's feelings to get hurt, except for me. My name better be there. But anyway.
Okay, yeah. Now you're
How many
talking
people?
like not acquaintances, people that
Not acquaintances. No, not coworkers, not acquaintances, not the people that you wish happy birthday. You don't have Facebook, but for those out there, not the people that you're wishing happy birthday on Facebook because you got the reminder it was their birthday. I'm talking about real friends.
Real friends.
Real friends meaning, here's the other thing. Here, if you won 10 tickets to travel someplace and it's all expenses paid for 10 people that you consider close friends. And, sometimes our family members are friends too, but 10 people that you are like, you know what? I ride with them. I want them to come along.
Okay.
I want you to think, count off of that. Count off of that.
I would consider 10 people friends. I mean, some people work from home, so I'm not in the building like I normally would be, but I do text certain people every day. So I would consider them friends. So I would say at least 10, maybe 15, somewhere in that range.
You are a blessed man. You are a blessed man. You are truly a blessed man. I'm going to say 5.
Okay. A very tight-knit circle.
I have a very tight-knit circle, which leads to another quote. Oh my gosh, this guy sent this out, and you know who he is. When we worked at Schwab together, I'll tell you who he is offline. But he sent out an email, and the email was titled The Front Row, right? And he said, your life is like a theater, And you have to be very mindful of the people that you select to sit in the front row of your life.
I like that.
That's another thing that kind of sticks with me. Who am I okay in being in the front row of my life? Who are the people that I could be truly vulnerable with?
Hmm.
And they accept me for all my flaws. So that's why my circle is very small.
What
Now,
flaws?
also, good answer. Good answer. Oh, I got a lot, but that's why we're friends. You know what? You love me throughout my
Yeah.
flaws, but it's important that I be very selective of who enters into that space, because people will come in and they'll put on the show, and then the first time something doesn't go their way, which is also, I have several criteria for being in the front row of my life. I value out how people act when they don't get their way with me.
Right. That's the real measure.
I personally believe no is a complete sentence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I say no, it's no. I don't have to expand upon that. No is a complete sentence. So how are you going to act when you don't get your way from me? And I measure all of those things. And that's why I have it down to 5. And I think there's very few people. And also throughout the years, we're at the age where people are dropping. Unfortunately, we do have friends that are no longer with us. And so that's the other factor too. Because there was a time I had more than that. But as we get older, we lose a couple of people along the way. I'm very protective of who enters into that space. Now, I'm going to say this. And I'm talking, when I say 5, I'm saying 5 close friends, people that I might not speak to every day, but if time passes and we speak, it's like we're picking up where we left off.
Right. Okay. Not missing anything.
You and I are a prime example of that. The only reason why we speak once a week is because we do this podcast.
Yeah.
And, for our listeners, segue here, we started doing this podcast because we have a lot of very interesting conversations that take place between the two of us. And I said to Jeff, I was like, yo, we should record this and just broadcast it out, because these are really great conversations. And the funny thing is that we will go ahead and we'll record a show, we'll stop recording, and we'll have another complete conversation behind the show. And I sit there and I think, I wish this was recorded.
Yes. Yeah, a couple times we did the few shows after the show. Yeah.
Yeah, we do like 3 or 4 shows outside of one recording. But I have friends from elementary school. I think I have one.
Wow.
I have quite a few from middle school, meaning we're connected on Facebook, right? And I have some from high school. I don't speak to them. We wish each other happy birthday. I see they have a milestone event. I commented, I acknowledge it, but we're not picking up a phone. And what I'm very disciplined in is, like, when someone's like, oh, we should get together. Jeff, you know me. I'm a person of my word. If I say we need to get together, I truly mean
Right.
We need to get together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people will say that. And there have been times I've said to people, no, we don't need to. It was good catching up with you, though.
Yes, you have. You told me about that.
And it's not that I'm trying to be mean, but I understand you're speaking in terms of pleasantries and you don't truly mean it.
Right. You're giving them a way out.
Why do we have to pretend? I'm going to give you a way out so you don't feel convicted the next time you speak to me or see me out in public,
Mm-hmm.
that you didn't follow up on that. So I'm going to give you a way out. I do have a handful of friends from college. Same situation. I may reach out on a birthday or something like that. But I will say my constants right now, I'm going to tell you my constant. One's from high school. One was a recent addition, I want to say within the last 5 years. And no, actually 2 are from high school. And you were post-college, so you're in the workplace. So I think I counted 5. And so there's 3 from high school. Okay, 3 from high school, 1 post-college, which is you, and another person that's recently. My 5 right there, right?
That's it.
I will say this. Out of the 3 from high school, there's only 1 that I'm extremely close to. And our listeners, you may have heard me talk about my brother, but we're not biologically related, but I've known him for most of my life. I've known him since I was 14, and he's like a brother to me. He's past friendship. He's like a brother. And when he listens to this podcast, because he's always like around 3 or 4 months behind our episodes, he'll know who exactly is. But, he's married. He has a beautiful wife. I'm friends with his wife as well. They have a beautiful son that's on his way off to college. Whenever people talk about that men and women can't be friends if the party's married, I'm an exception, I believe, to that rule because I understand my place within their relationship. He considers me his sister. She has embraced me as hers. And there's nothing I would say to him that I wouldn't say in front of her. As a matter of fact, he told his wife, he's like, Donna really loves you because anytime he comes to me with something, I always take her side. I always take her side. I just love them that much. They had their first son. I went and I stayed with them a week so she could relax postpartum and I can help her take care of the baby. That's the kind of relationship we have. It's a family. So he's the one that I'm most closest to. I'll say, if I'm going to rate in category here, I would say you fall behind him.
Yay. Okay, I'm number 2.
You're number 2. I ain't gonna rate everybody else. And it's funny that my 2 closest relationships are with men.
Yeah.
And Ronald said to bring him on the show one day, and I'm afraid to bring him on the show because he might tell a little bit too much about me and my thought process. But those are my friends. Those are the ones that I'm comfortable with. And I think the reason why, and my most recent edition friend, you three are the ones that will call me on my carpet. You'll call me on the carpet. If there's something, you're like, no, Donna. You'll tell me the truth. You're the truth tellers. And we all need truth tellers in our life. I think also what resonates with why these people, you included, are important to me is I heard a quote from 50 Cent. And he said, a true friendship can withstand time, distance, and silence.
Yeah.
There have been times before this pod I hadn't spoken to you in like weeks. We'll text or something like that. But when we pick up the phone, we pick up as it stands. Like I've gone like 5-6 months and not spoken to Ronald. And we pick up the phone, it's like we picked up where we left off. And he's several time zones away from me. And for me, silence, I can be, and we've been in this place, we could be in a room and not say a word and understand how the other person is feeling.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to talk about it. We just understood. They're processing something, they need some space or whatever. There's an understanding. And that's why that hit me. Because again, I'm in California, with the exception of my recent friend. I don't have a large friend group that's surrounding me here. So the friends that I've established, there's time, there's distance, and that inevitable silence because we're away from each other that has shown that we can withstand and we're friends. We're truly friends and just one phone call away.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the silence thing, I like that part. Well, I like all of it. But if you are a true, a friend, the silence, you won't get inside your own head and think, well, is she mad at me? Is he mad at me? What did I do? It's just silence. They could be busy. They could be doing whatever, but you could always solve that riddle, or not riddle, but you could solve that by picking up the phone.
Yeah.
What's going on? Everything cool? Okay, everything's good. All right.
Yeah. And I think to your point, that's really important. And that kind of feeds into and taps into certain insecurities where you don't understand. And that's why I'm very mindful of how I use the word friend, because in my mind, a true friend understands me to my core.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a truth teller too. So if I tell you something, it's because I'm saying it out of love, care, and concern for your future. And as a friend, it's my duty, not shaft, but it's.
I thought about that immediately. I was like, what?
No, it's my duty to be. No, it's my duty to be honest with you. It is my duty. Yeah. And I think the worst thing you can do to a friend is know where they're straying and let them fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
Now, I think I'll make this my last. Maybe not my last, but one of my last. Have you ever ended a friendship with someone intentionally? Have you ever intentionally said, you know what, I can't rock with this person anymore?
Yes. But it wasn't like a phone call or a text. It was just like a ghost situation. And the only reason, because I'm not a ghoster per se, but I was the one that was continuing starting the communication. Like I'm restarting. If I don't text or call, nothing comes back. So I was like, let me just see how much of a friend this person is, or this person, 2 people. And I just stopped hitting them up, and they just kept doing what they were doing. And then after a while, it got to be so long of a time, it would be awkward to call back. So, but I knew
Yeah.
where I stood, because obviously if I just stop calling, they should check on me, right? If they're my friend, like, hey,
Yeah.
what happened to Jay? What's going on? He hasn't hit me up in a couple months. It's not like him. No call, no text, no nothing. So I was like, all right, be gone.
It's funny you say that because there was this woman that, we were kind of friends, and she started to annoy me. I was the one that used to call a lot. I just stopped calling. And she called me one day and she was like, yeah, you don't call me anymore. I was like, was your phone disconnected? Did you stop paying your bill? I'm like, last I checked. I'm like, the
Wow.
phone, the phone works both ways here now. So
Yeah.
yeah, needless to say that ended that day and that time. So,
Yeah, I've said that before. That's so funny
yeah, but
and true. It's funny and true.
yeah, and funny and true. So yeah, I have ended friendships. Childhood friends versus adult friends. Let's talk about friend groups here. When you were younger, usually your friends were due to proximity. You went to the same school,
Hmm.
you lived in the same neighborhood, you were in the same little league or whatever church, or your parents were friends.
Yeah.
My parents is friends with your parents, and so as a default, because they spend time together, we spend time together.
Yeah. Let's see where this is going.
Do you really? Did your parents ever kind of force friendships for you?
Yes. And that was one of the ones I had to let go because he was just a user. He was one of the guys that I was
Okay.
mentioning. And he would very rarely, he would call when he needed something. Like when he was a friend from like age like 1 or 2. I mean, no, I'm sorry, 3 or 4. I think we were about 4 years old. And we just did our play dates and whatever. But as we got older, he would call when he needed a ride. He would call when he needed a haircut. I was always driving, even though he had access to a car, but I was always driving. Never offered any gas money. Wanted free haircuts. I mean, and I put up with this for a while. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm a totally different Jeff than I was back then. But I put up with this for years. And then I bumped into him. He had moved down in Orlando area and I saw him out of nowhere. I didn't know he was even down here, and I saw him from a distance, and I was like, "Is that who I think it is?" And I looked at him. I said, "Yeah, that's him." And then the old Jeff would have been like, "Hey, let's run and catch up." The new deal, the current Jeff's like, "Oh, okay, well, let me keep going." Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good.
yeah. The mom was like, "Did you see such and such down there?" "Yeah, I probably did." "Yeah, did you say anything?" "No, I didn't say anything. I'm good." What's ironic is I talk to his parents at least twice a year when I go back to visit home,
Hmm.
and we never bring him up.
Because his parents knows he ain't shit.
Oh man, like they say stuff like, "Yeah, he's a busy man. He's hard to get a hold of. Like he's not ghosting his parents, but whatever he's doing, he's too busy for his parents. It's crazy."
Let me tell you, I'm a segue there because when people tell me that they're busy, I had a friend that tried to say that to me, and I'm like, "Well, you Barack Obama? You got Michelle and 2 kids at home and a dog named Bo." I'm like, you're running a country, you're that busy? Nobody is that busy.
No,
Nobody.
don't take that long. You take 15 seconds to respond to a text.
Don't blow yourself up. You're not that busy.
Mm-mm.
Here's the thing, I was fortunate. My parents didn't like people.
Hmm. They weren't people persons, huh?
You know what it is? My parents are immigrants, right? And they, by nature, just were not naturally trusting of people,
Hmm.
especially when it came to, I found that I was younger. My friend groups that I chose to be my friends were kids who their parents were immigrants as well, because my parents were a little bit more trusting as far as, if I brought a friend whose parent was an immigrant, the commonality, they were okay with it. They still didn't like me going over to anybody's house. I was definitely not spending the night at anybody's house. That was a wrap. But yeah, they weren't trusting. They weren't trying to push the friendship thing for me.
Okay, that seems fair.
Yeah, so that's childhood. Now we get to high school. And high school is when you typically start choosing your own friends
Right.
because you have people coming from different neighborhoods, different ethnicities, and so forth. So you're able to choose what group you want to melt in with. Then after high school comes college, because usually after high school, those friendships kind of fall off too, depending on how deep they were. Then you go to college, rinse and repeat, same thing happens. Then you go into the workplace. It happens all over again. Then you get married. If you're married, now it becomes a different friend group because, and I was telling someone this yesterday, if you are married now, you can't hang out with your girls that are single and go to the club and stay out until 3 a.m.
You're not supposed to, but yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. Not if you want your marriage to last. No.
Mhm.
So, and then kids come, and kids kind of take up a lot of your time. So again, you're repeating, you're finding people to connect with that have kids around the age of your kids, and so forth and so forth. And then life on a whole happens. You start choosing your friends. And like I said, as you get older, your circle usually starts to shrink. There are very few friends that thread throughout the course of your life through all those seasons.
Right. Yeah, I got two from high school. One I talk to somewhat frequently, the other one not as much, but we're still considered friends.
Yeah. And then as we get older now, when we start acquiring, like with the Pokemon cards, I'm talking, when we start acquiring new friends, it's usually around like work or activities. Maybe you go out to golf or you play basketball with a league or you're bowling or church or something. You start picking friends in those groups. But what I've found is if within those groups, usually those friendships don't extend beyond what you have in common.
Right.
If you're going out and you're playing basketball, because I remember when you used to play basketball with some of the guys that used to play basketball with. Some of them, they could play really well, but you don't want to spend your off time really outside of basketball with them.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Just basketball and that's it. Shake hands, dap up. Good game. See you next time.
Yeah, so that's where the friendship kind of is like, okay, we've ended this activity. They're a chapter in your book.
Mm-hmm.
I hear people saying, yeah, I have hundreds of friends. I'm always leery about the people that say they have hundreds of friends. And I'm like, no, you don't have hundreds of friends. You have like followers. And there's a difference.
There's a difference. Or acquaintances.
Yeah, Facebook has gotten people all messed up in the head where they think they have a lot of friends and they don't.
Right. They'll find out once they ask, hey, I need help moving.
Exactly. That's good. Oh, that's a great one. Shout out to my co-host Jeff. He has moved me almost every single time.
Except for California, yeah.
Except for California. And I'm like, you know what? At this age, we shouldn't be lifting nothing heavy. I just pay people now. So-
Yeah.
But most people, they don't have friends. And I'm going to use Facebook as an example because I think I started deleting people as friends because I'm like, we don't engage, we don't talk, we might be the same association or something like that. But there's no reason. There's nothing that you're putting out that's content for me. So I started deleting people. And I think I'm down to like a little over 1,500 people on Facebook.
Damn, that's a lot of people. Yeah.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. But here's my true test. When my birthday comes, how many people are going to write on my wall, happy birthday? It's not 1,500 people.
No.
And I would say that it's usually around anywhere between 8 to 10% of that number that writes on my page, happy birthday.
Okay.
And again, those truly aren't friends, but they're acquaintances. I've impacted them somehow. They've impacted me somehow. And they're kind enough to acknowledge, my journey around the sun. Friendships, they do get hard as we age. For you, do they get harder or are you just like, I don't get?
It is harder to let people in as a friend. Yeah, so I'd say yes, just the lack of trust, like your parents. I don't know, just being hardened over time where people kind of use you and abuse you, or just I don't know, just tell you any sort of thing. If you want to meet up and then you're like, oh, let's meet at building A at 8 p.m. on Thursday, whatever. Okay, let's meet up. And as you set this up, like this is all hypothetical, but let's say you set it up Monday or Tuesday. So there's no need for a reminder. It's only 2 or 3 days later. And then you show up at building A and it's like a ghost town. You're like, where's, my so-called friend? Oh, I couldn't make it. Or, they hit you up later. That type of thing. So that's just an example. That didn't really happen. But people will no-show on like group events. And then they will come up with some kind of lame excuse. Like putting out, one guy put, I was putting out fires. And
he's a firefighter? He's a firefighter?
Yeah, we kept. Yo, it's funny you said that because we sent so many gifs, and starting with me, of somebody fighting the fire. We clowned him so hard because he's known for doing this. Like he will show up every now and again, but he is known. Like when we plan something as a group, he's the guy that we know is probably going to no show and come up with a lame excuse. So we just accept it. That's just how he is. It is what it is. I don't consider him a friend. He's an acquaintance I used to work with, but he does provide for unintentional comedy. And he worked. Well, I don't know if he still works there now, but he worked at our old job at one point. I don't know if he's still there or not. But I was like, I thought you worked here. We could say at Schwab. I thought you worked at Schwab. I didn't know they have a firefighting department in Schwab.
It's a volunteer firefighting team there.
He said that.
When the markets are blazing.
Yes.
When the markets are blazing.
Yes. I need to find that thread. It was chock full of just firefighting memes and fires and water. It was so hilarious. I actually totally forgot about that until we had this discussion. So that's another benefit of our talks. That was funny.
I mean, bottom line is friendship does get harder as we age.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's busy because they're fighting fires or they're Barack Obama.
Yeah.
People have kids, they have grandkids, they have their careers. People are getting older. They might have health issues. They might have, I know for me at one point, I started to weed people out because I had an aging parent that I had to take care of. So your circle naturally changes, especially as people start to pass away. That's just life. It's not really personal. It's just life. It's the cycle of life. So if anything, maybe today's takeaway is this: stop chasing people who have already left your season.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate the people, your day ones that are along for the ride with you and who have stayed, and protect the ones that have earned access to your life. Be a true friend to them. Be honest with them because they deserve that. And if you can survive time, distance, silence, hold on to them because they're rare. Jeff, please share with us how our listeners can support our channel.
Okay, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Share the show with everyone that you know. And also, if you're listening, listen all the way to the very end. If you want to email us with any suggestions or commentaries or comments, please hit us up at hilarityensewspod@gmail.com.
And as always, we may not have all the answers, but we'll definitely make you think. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.
Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Hilarity Ensues. Our fantastic music soundtrack is brought to you by TL Music Productions exclusively for Hilarity Ensues. Be sure to connect with us on social media by following Hilarity Ensues Podcast.